Does this look familiar to you? Sitting slouched, using your electronics. A lot of us are sitting throughout the day. This is normal. So I want to talk to you about 5 simple moves that you can use, especially if you've been sitting for a while, to help with your posture, to help with your mobility, to decrease pain. It's gonna be awesome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer. I'm a physical therapist, movement specialist. We're big into nutrition, and I am here to support you in your health journey by providing simple tips to incorporate into your daily routine and help you feel better. The first thing we're going to get started with today. Where do you normally sit? Do you sit on a couch? Do you sit on a desk chair? It's important to think about that, because if we're sitting in a chair that is not very well supported, this one does not have much support, as you can see. It has a little bit of a curve. So one thing that I do recommend for people is, let's say you're sitting at a desk chair, what you could do is put a little hand towel rolled up in the back of your low back here. And that is a simple trick. I already folded it in half, and now I just rolled it up, and then you're just gonna put it in the back of your chair. So if you have a kitchen chair or a desk chair, something that gives you a little bit more support. It's also really nice to have something that you rest your arms on that is right about here. So if you're on a mouse, you really want your mouse to be right about this angle. If it's too high or too low, or you're really reaching, that's gonna cause you to slouch. So it's some things to think about with how we sit throughout the day. If you're sitting slumped, that's okay for a little while, but we really need to be moving. That is ultimately the key. It's not necessarily just our posture, it's the fact that we're not moving a lot throughout the day. Another big trick that's really important is I tell people, set a timer. Set a timer for every 20 to 30 minutes. If you know you're gonna be sitting a long period of time, you have a project, or you're just doing a bunch of stuff online, make it intentional to set a timer for every 20 to 30 minutes, get up, walk around a little bit, and then there are a few exercises that you can do at your desk or wherever you're working to increase your mobility and help with stiffness and pain. So let's go over those. First thing we're going to do is called a chin tuck. So chin tucks are basically to help get your body in better alignment, because most of us, again, are slouching. And there are small muscles in our neck that are really important to stabilize our spine, and they actually function pretty much all of the time. Over time, when we sit in a very forward head posture, we get tight in certain areas, those small muscles forget how to work. So a chin tuck is an awesome way to engage those muscles again and to help improve your overall postural strength. All you're gonna do is sit up, just like what I talked about earlier, have a little towel roll behind you if you can, bring your shoulders back and down, and then think of your head like a box. You're simply going to pull your head gently back in line with your shoulders. You can also think of a line, a rope being pulled from your head and your torso all the way up, and you want to think about pulling everything in line. You're going to hold for a few seconds, make sure you're breathing, don't hold your breath. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rest. And then you can do this 5 to 10 times. So let's just try it again. Pull it back, shoulders are down, away from the ears, and back a little bit. Pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's also good to have your feet resting on the floor, and it's also nice to have your hips at 90 degrees and your knees at 90 degrees. Just something else to think about with your posture. One more time. Pull back, chin's just tucked in a little bit and not too far up or too far down. You want to keep it pretty straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another really simple exercise that's awesome to do if you've been sitting a while. Think about it. When we are, let's say we are on our cell phones and we're looking down, which I see a lot of younger people doing, but older people too. A big thing that you could do that's important is try to get your phone or your computer up higher. You could rest your phone on a higher surface. You usually want the screen to be right about eye level. Is your computer really low, or is it really high to where you're tilting your head up a lot? So if you have your phone, you could rest it on, like they have those different stands that you can get to have it higher up. That's great. But otherwise, if you've been sitting for a long time and your head is down, all you can do is think about that chin tuck we talked about earlier, and then you're just going to do some reverse shoulder rolls. And I like to think of it like a D. So we're going to pull them up and then squeeze your shoulder blades back and then come back to neutral. So you could do about 10 of these, and it helps mobilize those shoulder blades, which can get tight if we've been sitting a while. And we'll just keep going a few more. Make sure you're breathing. So up, squeeze back, come down, and back to neutral. Up, back, down. One more time. Those are reverse shoulder rolls. You can go forward if you want, but we're already kind of in that position most of the time. So let's try to just really work on the backward rotation. So whose neck is often stiff? My neck definitely gets stiff. I get upper trap pain sometimes. Another wonderful stretch or exercise that you can do if you've been sitting a while is stretching your neck out. There's two different ones that I really like that help with stretching because there's two muscles that get tight typically in the neck. Your upper trap, which runs out this way, and then there's also a muscle in the back called your levator scapulae. That muscle needs a little bit more rotation to stretch it out. The first one we're going to do is your upper trap stretch. So again, think about sitting straight up. You're gonna just drop your head down the opposite ear and hold for about 5 to 10 seconds. Again, making sure you're breathing. And then come up to neutral, and then you can go to the other side. Just don't push through pain. And then come up, go back down to the other side. If you want, you can do one side at a time and then switch. If that feels better, it's up to you. I'm just alternating. Definitely a little stiffer going this way, as you can probably tell. We're gonna do one more. And switch. And you can also try to push your shoulder down away from your ears. That's also really helpful when you do these. The levator scapulae muscle is the one that I talked about, needs a little bit of rotation and side bending. So what you're gonna do to stretch the left muscle is you're gonna turn a little bit like rotating your head to look over your shoulder, and then you're gonna just bring it down. So it's almost like you're looking at your armpit, and you're gonna, again, hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds. Try not to push through pain. And come back up, and then again, switch sides. Rotate your head toward the other shoulder, and then look down toward your armpit and hold. Now what you could do, if you want a little more of a stretch, grab gently with the same side hand that you're stretching towards. You can also push this hand away from you and really feel it in that muscle in the back. You can grab onto something behind you if that helps as well, just to anchor that arm down. Like I'm gonna grab onto my chair and push down through my shoulder blade. Okay, so we'll do one more time. Rotate, look down, hold, and then switch. Make sure you're breathing and pushing the shoulder down away from your ear. Our chest also gets tight when we sit. That's the muscles here. And so another really quick, easy exercise that you could do when you're sitting is a chest stretch. So with a chest stretch, you can grab the hands behind your back and then lift your arms up. So you're gonna have to sit pretty close off the edge of your chair to do it. You can also try it standing if that's easier. And you're gonna try to raise your arms up away from your back and drop your head down. And I would hold that for a good 10 to 15 seconds and then come up and then try it again. If you can't grasp your hands behind your back, you can simply just hold them behind you and then elevate them up as best as you can, or you can hold onto a little towel or a washcloth if you can't reach your hands together, if that makes sense. And that feels really good. My chest is definitely tight. We'll do one more of those. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and rest. And sometimes I like to just rotate my shoulders around after that. And I do want to just show you one for the legs. A lot of us get tight hamstrings when we sit a lot. Hamstrings are in the back of the legs. So a really easy way to stretch your hamstrings out is going to be just to have your leg out in front of you, just like that. You can also put it on a stool. Sometimes that's easier just to get a little bit more leverage there to stretch. You're just gonna have your leg propped out in front of you. You wanna keep your back pretty straight here. So a lot of people will go like this to stretch. You really wanna think about keeping your back straight and your chest up, your shoulders back, and then lean forward at the hip area. So that's called a hinge movement. We're gonna be going over those eventually when we do some strengthening. Hold that again for about 10 to 15 seconds and then come back to neutral. And you can do the same side maybe 3 to 5 times. So really good one to do because our hamstrings do get pretty tight when we sit for a long period of time. And then you can switch and try the other side. Leg is out in front, back is straight, chest is up. Count to 10. we'll just do one more on the other side. And you just want to feel a gentle stretch. You don't want to feel any pain. And make sure you're keeping your toes pointed up when you do the hamstring stretch, because if you point them down, you're probably not going to feel it very much. This is just the start. I wanted to give you a foundation of how important it is to move. And I know a lot of us sit throughout the day, right? So it's really important to think about how can I incorporate more mobility, more movement in my day? Because when we sit for long periods of time, we get muscle stiffness, our joints start to become more limited with our range of motion. It changes our blood flow. Our blood flow is not as good, so you're getting less circulation throughout your body. And generally, just overall, when we don't move as much, our muscles get weaker, and that is a huge issue as we start to get older. Make sure you're incorporating movement. Try to move every 20 to 30 minutes. Don't sit for long periods of time. Get up and walk around. Try these exercises. And please, if you can, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I would love to hear feedback. What are some things that you are struggling with that I can help you out with? I'm a physical therapist, and I am happy to help share tips to get you to feel better and feel like you can do more throughout the day with less pain, stiffness, and concerns. All of my best to you guys. Thanks for listening, and hopefully I'll be back in here again soon.